Welcome to The Sound, KQAL FM's weekly behind-the-scenes look at Minnesota-made music. From writing and recording to distribution and promotion, The Sound is your source for new releases and exclusive interviews from Minnesota artists. Support for The Sound is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Rolling.
Well, it feels like my boots are made of concrete and my eyes filled with sand.
Tonight on The Sound, we sit down with folk artist Nicky Nieling from Rochester, Minnesota. We check out Nicky's latest EP, Somehow Now, along with a couple tunes from previous albums. Sparse and drenched in reverb with heartfelt lyrics, Somehow Now is a reflection on life over the past year in the midst of a pandemic. So sit back as we talk to Nicky Nieling and check out his latest album, Somehow Now, tonight on The Sound. Hello, Nicky.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
It's a really bad situation. So much mass procrastination. Our land so split, divided we fall. Need a new way to go about it all. And so many ups, so many downs. Every county, every town. State to state, across them lines. So many parties, but no party time. And so many people at their wits' ends. So many families still struggling. So many callers, so many colors. Let's hope we can unite again. It's the air we breathe, things we need is personal touch. What makes us us? It's human nature. Can't debate you. All just human in the end. Let's just hope for our sake we can find common ground. 'Cause our state is at stake. Let's turn it around. Let's just hope for our sake we can find common ground. 'Cause our state is at stake. Let's turn it around.
And that was Common Ground from the album Bare Bones by artist Nicky Nieling. He's an artist out of Rochester, doing folk music and singer-songwriter stuff. And we have Nicky on the phone with us tonight. Hey, Nicky, how you doing?
Doing good, Bill. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. So you have a new album out called Somehow Now. We just heard one from Bare Bones, which was, 2018, I believe?
Yeah, the new one's 5 songs.
Uh-huh.
Typically, I've been trying to do about a 5-song EP every year. Usually have a lot more songs than that every year, but that's about all I can really wrap my head around as far as getting them recorded and getting them out there for people to hear them. So.
Right. And, where did you record the new album? You do a lot of home recording, or did you take it somewhere else and work with someone, or how'd you go about that?
Everything I've ever put out has been done in my own house. So, got a variety of microphones, a whole variety of guitars. Lately been getting into the banjo.
Nice.
But pretty much just all garage band, you know.
Okay, cool. And so how did you get into home recording? Was it just out of just a drive to do it and kind of necessity, or did you have a general interest in recording itself, or what?
I mean, years and years and years ago, I got a digital 8-track for a Christmas present, and was hooked ever since. There's nothing like recording something and be able to listen to it back right away, and not being pressed for studio time, and not making sure you have quality output when you have time reserved. And it's kind of double-edged sword, though. Sometimes you try to record something 50 times and you don't come out with a decent take, and other times happens in 5 minutes. So
right.
Just really love capturing the moment, really. So most of my songs or most of my recordings happen, I'm just trying to write the song and trying to capture it. If it somehow happens that first take, then I have it.
Right. So do you, so is recording kind of part of your writing process and too? Like you record it and try different variations of it and things like that and listen back?
Typically that, yeah, I try to capture it as soon as possible. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes songs hang around for a couple of years before I'm actually real comfortable with the arrangement or all the lyrics or the recording itself. But generally, yeah, I feel like the earlier I capture it, the better it is. If I linger on it and keep trying on it, I tend to set it off to the side.
Right. Okay. Well, let's play some of the new album for some people, and we'll get into that. We are talking to Nicky Nieling tonight. He's a folk singer-songwriter from Rochester, Minnesota, and we're going to play a song off of his new album called Somehow Now. It just came out, and this is a tune called Eye on the Prize, right here on the Sound on 89.5 KQAL.
Well, it feels like my boots are made of concrete and my eyes are filled with sand. Keep my eye on the prize whenever I can. Keep my chin in the wind. Keep my eye on the prize. It's pride, it's purpose. I need a new way of life. I've been chasing things and chasing dreams. It's never bad as it seems. Turn another page with an open eye to what life could be. Things could get better from here. It's been a rough couple of years, fighting back the tears as they well. I wanna do right, I wanna do better, I wanna be sharp, I wanna live forever. I wanna laugh, I wanna be clever, I wanna bring people together, make a new friendship, make another bond, another friend to lean on. Some laughter and plenty of love, a new thing to hang your hat on. Let's keep our eyes on the prize and our chins in the wind.
And that was Eye on the Prize from the album Somehow Now. That's from Rochester folk artist Nicky Nieling. And we have Nicky on the phone with us tonight. Nicky, so, the first track we played tonight was Common Ground off of Bare Bones. And then we just played Eye on the Prize from Somehow Now, your new album. The earlier track had a little bit of piano, and there's some piano spread up around the Bare Bones album, but the new record is even more stripped down. It's just kind of it's acoustic guitar and vocals. How do you go about deciding like what instruments to put into something, or what goes into that kind of decision?
Generally speaking, my writing process is with the guitar in hand. I had a paper, a pen, and a guitar. Piano was the last project was just some, ambient noise in the background, more or less. I don't know. I tend to try to be as much lyrically driven as possible. With the Somehow Now project, I guess I started adding other instrumentation. I've been tinkering with the banjo quite a bit lately, trying to add bass lines, stuff like that. When I multi-track, it tends to just, I don't know, spiral out of control or just end up getting way too involved. And I don't know if it's the case or not, but I feel like my songwriting is one of my better attributes, so I try to focus on that and keep that out front. So
Right.
I don't know, I just kind of decided that these songs seem to be pretty time sensitive to our current situation.
Mm-hmm.
Really wanted to get them out, and I thought I'd captured pretty decent sounds with just the guitar and the vocals, and I don't know,
Yeah.
definitely my favorite. It's definitely my favorite way to go about things. Once I start multi-tracking, I feel like I get way too cynical of myself. So
Okay. Yeah. I like the stripped down, how it does. It puts the songwriting kind of out there in the forefront, So
I mean, I like to think less is more, but sometimes maybe that's just because that's how I play or that's my ability level. But yeah, just if the song can stand alone with the guitar, I kind of prefer that oftentimes.
Right. And, I'm glad you mentioned the lyrics, too, because it seems like, like the song we just heard, Eye on the Prize, there's kind of a common thread in a lot of your tunes about, like, dreams and dreaming, not giving up on dreams, things like that. I want to play another one from Somehow Now called Betting on a Dream, and that one seems to kind of relate that feeling with, like you said, like the state of things today, with the COVID-19 and things like that going on in quarantines. Can you talk a little bit about Betting on a Dream and kind of what inspired that? Maybe let people know a little bit about what's behind it.
Yeah. I started writing it a few months into the pandemic. I have a couple close friends that work in the medical field and family members and neighbors and things like that. And to be honest with you, most of these songs on this project kind of started as me just venting on a piece of paper and not even really pursuing a song or pursuing a recording for an album. It just kind of started like trying to process things, feeling so grateful for the efforts that our friends and neighbors and family members and everybody out there that are keeping things moving, and feeling, a little guilty about not helping in some way. And so I start writing things down, and after a couple of verses and it was just falling out, I just decided, I better pursue this. And if nothing else, it's a shout out to people helping us get through this. So
Right. Is that one of those kind of tunes that just came out then that you like you were talking about capturing that moment?
Yeah, I literally probably wrote that, and I don't think even everything I wrote landed in the recording, but all the lyrics were written in a matter of probably 20 minutes, half hour, or something like that.
Oh, wow. So it just came right out.
I definitely tinkered with the arrangement and things like that a bit over time, so it wasn't like the first recording that landed on the album, but all the lyrics were pretty much fell right out. It's pretty nice when it happens like that.
Yeah, nice. Well, let's check it out. Here it is. We're talking to Nicky Nieling tonight. He's a folk artist from Rochester, Minnesota. And here's the tune Betting on a Dream from his new album, Somehow Now, right here on The Sound on 89.5 KQAL Winona.
Betting on a dream, it's hard as it seems. Try to harness it and do what matters to me. A glass half full on the edge of the table might look half empty, depends who you ask. It's panic in the air and despair, feelings of those who don't care. Impossible dreams make me want to scream. So much flagrant disregard for what's happened to me. It's a grocery store clerk whose life is berserk. It's the truckers and the stockers and the nurses and the doctors, child care providers and the first responders. It's a friend across the street and the one down Oh, the list goes on and on. They're risking everything, keeping their heads down to care for our team. All for the greater good, oh, it's humbling. There's heroes everywhere in our neighborhoods. On our highways and our byways and our local city streets, keep things moving for you and me. Among heroes every day, keep things moving and food on our plates. Caring for our loved ones, putting gas in our tanks, keeping us moving deserves so much thanks. We'd be lost without them and lost without our friends, lost without people who keep it running. So I'm watching the news.
That was Betting on a Dream from the album Somehow Now from Nicky Nieling. He's a folk artist from Rochester, and we have him on the phone tonight. Nicky, so Somehow Now is your fourth release, so you've been at this for a while. How long have you been playing? Like, you know, how did you get started, and what inspired you to pick up the guitar in the first place?
As a kid, I would say maybe like third grade or something, my parents put me into I played trumpet, started playing trumpet in school, but
Nice.
started taking lessons with a few other kids my age with this surfer dude in California that my parents found that just had like drum set and guitar and bass and keyboard in his apartment. We'd go there and we'd just learn some random songs. I think one of the first songs I ever learned on keyboard was who sings it? She drives me crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Fine Young Cannibals.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I think so.
From there, I don't know. I've never really learned technically what I'm doing. I play by ear mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know scales. Don't know really real progressions, just what sounds good together. As the years went on, started, meeting some friends in high school. We kind of decided to throw together a garage band type project, playing in my parents' garage.
Nice.
And I went to school in La Crosse for a few years and met people there and kept jamming and was always kind of writing ever since I've been probably 19 or so.
Oh, cool.
But never really felt like I was honing it in until the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was gonna ask you, like, what inspired you to start writing then, but you started kind of right away after you learned how to play, huh?
Well, yeah,
a few years.
Anything good, but yeah. I don't know. I say it a lot to all my friends and whoever wants to listen. I can definitely talk people's ears off, but writing songs to me is super therapeutic. When I'm feeling anxiety or feeling stressed out about stuff, something pops into my head and I just it's just better write it down just in case. And oftentimes it turns into something. Right now I'm sitting at my desk in my basement studio at my house, and I got clothespins lining the walls with probably 50, 60 songs that are just sitting around waiting for the inspiration to put it in with the other a new batch of songs. So
cool.
I don't know. Not always starting as a song. It's more starting just writing something down, and then oftentimes it just blossoms into an idea that I wasn't even after. So
right,
real interesting, and it's nobody wants to listen. And I got that piece of paper to vent to. So. And we didn't mention it before, but we've known each other for quite some time now. And I've seen your space there, and it's really interesting the way you have it set up for writing like that. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, because I remember you have all your notes kind of hanging up so you can see them. Yeah, I mean, just over the years, I just got like travel file cases filled with songs and computer folders filled with typed songs and, regular paper folders filled with handwritten song ideas or songs. And when I organize them like that, it just out of sight, out of mind, type thing. So I don't know. I couldn't find a corkboard big enough, so I just started stringing twine all around the room and hanging clothespin songs so I can just glance over at the wall and throw on the guitar and start playing one of them. And if it doesn't seem to be clicking, I just move on to a different one until I find the right one for the mood. I just like having it out so it's readily available.
I like that. And it's very old school too, actual paper hanging up, instead of like on a screen or something,
I still tend to handwrite for the majority of the writing process, and then after a while it gets pretty sloppy and hard to keep track of things on that sheet with all the scribbling. So after I get close to the end of the song or what I think might be complete song, then I'll start transcribing it into the computer so I can just copy and paste, rearrange things if need be, and I'm not having to handwrite the whole thing over again. And then I also have a digital copy of it so I can access it if I'm camping or something with somebody and I want to play a song and I can't remember it. I can look it up quick on my phone.
Nice. Oh, that's a good method. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, never been big on technology, but the last couple of years, getting things in the cloud is pretty convenient.
Yeah, it's pretty useful, isn't it? Well, let's play another tune for people. We're going to go back now to the Bare Bones album. This is a tune called Thirst. So we are talking to Nicky Nieling. He's an artist, folk artist from Rochester, Minnesota, and this is a tune from his album called Bare Bones, and this track is titled Thirst, right here on The Sound on 89.5 KQAL Winona.
Well, I'm weeping beneath the willow on my tea-stained pillow, dreaming of Amarillo in the morning. I had a late night last night, all party hard and nearly lost in eyes. Another Monday comes as no surprise. Well, it's back to real life for a couple of days. It's back to real life, I got bills to pay. And if I got paid to have fun, I'd be okay. Yeah. Well, that ain't how it works, at least not on this earth. If you wanna play hard, you gotta work hard first. But the harder you work up a thirst. Oh, a thirst for success and a thirst for pride, a thirst for approval so far behind, a thirst for all the good things in life. Oh, a thirst for convenience.
And that was Thirst by Nicky Nieling. That's from his album Bare Bones. It came out in 2018. We're talking to Nicky on the phone tonight about his new album called Somehow Now. And Nicky, we've talked a little bit about lyrical content, your writing process, stuff like that. This album, it seems like you said it was kind of timely. You wanted to get this out there. What would you say is the overarching thing that inspired you to put this out?
I was mentioning earlier, I was feeling like having a hard time putting into words my appreciation to some of these people that are real close to me. They're on the front lines during all this, and I guess at the end of the day, I felt like this is maybe what I can contribute, and maybe it'll resonate with some people, or at least it'll get some thought process going for some people that might hear it. I just really wanted to get it out. Like we mentioned, time-sensitive material somewhat. I'd like to think that years from now, people will look back on this time and remember there has been so much good music coming out over the last year. It's pretty unbelievable, but I'm hopeful it's not like a time capsule thing, that people aren't going to want to look back on those releases by everybody. Not that mine is super impactful or anything, but there's a lot of really, really, really good music, regionally and all across the country that's been coming out through all this. That's really helped me get through it. Help me take my mind off of things, or help me put things into perspective. Figure out what priorities really matter.
Right. So, do you find that, you mentioned that before, like that, you just have to get it out sometimes, and get it down on paper, or get it, recorded. Do you think that your writing and recording processes, do you think that they're kind of cathartic in that way? Like it helps you work through things, or?
Oh, most definitely. For sure. I don't think any one of these 5 songs on this Somehow Now project, maybe 2 of them had been started. I started writing them before the pandemic started, but they kind of represented themselves as being relevant to now. So I decided to, add some more lyrics and finish them off. But yeah, I don't know. The majority of the songs on this project were just trying to vent, trying to wrap my head around everything, and then it turned into an idea. It turned into one verse and then another verse, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh wow, I actually might have like a 3-minute song here. So.
Right. And that's cool, because I hear that from quite a few musicians, that sometimes they just have to get the song out, and it helps them with whatever they're going through. And then the cool thing is then us in the audience, we hear it, and it often helps us through times, and we can when we can relate to it and stuff.
That's the end goal, is to have somebody out there have it resonate with them.
Right.
It's super therapeutic for me, and I just wanted to get these songs out there. I got so many more that I'm working on that aren't quite as time specific, more happy-go-lucky, or just rhythmic.
Right. Cool.
I don't want to say that it's a super depressing batch of songs, but it's definitely a song of the times,
right?
For me, anyways.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's at least a feeling of the times, things going on right now. How can people find out more? I know your first 3 albums were on Spotify. Where else can people find out about your music and stuff like that? And then Somehow Now is on Bandcamp right now, and soon to be on other platforms, right?
Yep. Years ago, I started using SoundCloud. So I've got some stuff on there. Got quite a few, 20, 25 different DIY videos on YouTube that are also just guitar and vocal, pretty much. Stuff on Spotify and iTunes and stuff like that. There will be, Somehow Now will be added to that list here soon. Working on a website. But other than that, I just got it on Bandcamp. Got the YouTube channel. Trying to wrap my head around trying to do some live streams here sometime soon.
Oh, nice.
Like I mentioned earlier, I've been kind of late to the technology party. Just joined Facebook not too long ago and Instagram. So I do have a Nicky Nieling Music Facebook page where I've been posting random videos. There's some videos of some of these songs down there.
Cool. Cool. And that's something also, it's too bad we can't see those right now in the air because you've got some really cool videos for some of your past stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I feel like I'm getting better at it. Got some like lighting stuff now and stuff like that. But in the past, it's literally just been like flashlights and
right.
camping lanterns set up around the room, or just trying to get more of a cool angle of a video. It's nothing fancy production, but I'm trying to have some interesting take on it.
Right, but very interesting, for sure. Well, we are here tonight talking to Nicky Nieling. He's a folk artist from Rochester, Minnesota, and he's got a new album out right now called Somehow Now. You can find it on Bandcamp currently, and soon to be on Spotify, iTunes, and things like that. So, Nicky, we're going to go out with another tune off of Somehow Now called Living. Is there anything you want to tell folks about this tune?
This was a song that I started, probably right around the beginning of the pandemic. It's really trying to weigh options as far as, priorities and as far as safety, trying to keep my 2 little kids safe and my wife safe and myself safe and all grandmas and grandpas safe. I was really trying to figure out what the right path was for me for a while there. So I don't know, living just kind of started out as, again, putting something on paper just to make sure I had it written down somewhere, and it just kind of started falling out again.
Cool. You just got to get it out, right?
Referencing living beyond my dreams, just kind of that I never in a million years did I think that like I would experience what we're going through right now. I thought, ignorant, but I just didn't really think this was going to be in my lifetime.
Right.
It was obviously quite eye-opening. So just another one of those songs that was inspired by this whole crazy storm.
Right. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you tonight, Nicky, and we're going to play the track Living for everyone right now, and this is off of Somehow Now by Nicky Nieling. And Nicky, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, such a big thank you for being invited to the show. It's been fun listening to the other interviews you've been doing, and I was excited to find some of these Ghost and Bluegrass interviews from different years and stuff like that recently on the streaming services. So
cool. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Super grateful to have anybody listening, and it's definitely what keeps me writing. So thanks for having me.
So this is Living from Somehow Now by Nicky Nieling, right here on The Sound on 89.5 KQAL Winona.
I'm living beyond my means. I'm living past my wildest dreams. Now I'm driven and giving everything I got. I'm pushing and pulling every last stop. When my nose is red and my toes are cold and this bitter cold is getting old, I can't wait to stow all my sweater socks and throws. Well, I'm tired of blowing my nose, and the damn front door, it's froze. The mailbox is buried deep in the berm across the street, and the ice dam on the roof is just some more proof that the snow has got to go. And this cold is getting old. I just want the sun out, I wanna have some fun now that the snow is gone. Well, you know the time will tell if you wish it in a well. Another pan, another pot, an hourglass forgot. Here comes another cold spell. Oh, I'm living beyond my means. I'm living past my wild age.
Rolling. Thanks again to Nicky Nieling for joining us tonight on The Sound. For more information on Nicky and his music, just look him up on Bandcamp, Spotify, and other major streaming platforms. For more deep dives into local and regional albums, tune into The Sound every Wednesday night at 6 right here on 89.5 KQAL. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from Rochester musician Nicky Nieling with his latest EP, Somehow Now, on The Sound. Thanks for listening to The Sound. The Sound is produced by KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us online at kqal.org. Theme music for The Sound provided by Mike Terrell of Fires of Denmark.